All right, what's going on, guys? This is the Ordonez Method podcast number one. I'm joined by my sister Camilla.
Hi guys.
Say hello, Camilla. Uh,
Hello.
we started this podcast. This is our first one of the series. I've done a few podcasts before, and every time that I start, I stop. And this was I didn't want to do any more podcasts, but this was just kind of an opportunity I couldn't pass up. My sister's also in the game now, and we've been doing some business together. So we thought, why not get together and give information to young people like us who might be starting out in their careers, or in our case, in real estate or in business, whatever it is, and just kind of talk about things that are relevant and that are can help anybody out. When I'm in a different stage than Camilla is, and it's cool to see like what she's doing versus what I'm doing, and how it's all kind of the same thing, but it's just at different stages. Camilla, you have kind of any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so this is my first time doing anything like a podcast or anything with my brother, and I just started getting in the game recently, like this year mostly, and I'm really excited to keep growing my education about real estate and just financial education in general. And so, yeah, we're just trying to help people who are just like us going through either the starting points of their career like me or kind of further into it like my brother or then up there like my dad. So this podcast is kind of just helping all types of people from wherever you are, young people, and we're really excited. So this podcast specifically, we're going to be talking about the basics of what we're doing and just telling you more about ourselves and how we're going to help you guys further your careers. So, first, we're going to start with what our company does and what you're sharing your screen. I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. You're muted.
We can just clip that out.
Okay.
I wanted to share it so like they can, I was gonna share it and highlight it and then come off just so they can kind of see what we're talking about.
Oh, because yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Or we could have them put it like on the screen, like the editors or
Okay,
something.
let's do that. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just keep
Okay.
going. Sorry.
So first we're going to start off with kind of what we do and who we work with and just what real estate development is. So I'm going to let my brother take off from here.
Yeah, so we came up with the idea for this podcast when we were in Madrid. We went to visit some family, and we thought it would be cool because, like I said, Camilla's getting older. She's in college now, and she started to get into real estate. A little bit of background, that's basically what our immediate family does. My mom, my dad, my sister, myself. We're all in the business of residential real estate right now, looking into some commercial as well, but mainly what we do is residential, by the way of new construction, flips, wholesale, property management, you name it. Any kind of real estate or development service, we are kind of doing that right now. So when we were in Madrid, we thought there was kind of like a need for young people. I think the last 5, 6 years, just with social media and just all kinds of media, podcasts, YouTube videos, and anything. There's so much content out there, and a lot of it's not real, and a lot of it is not catered towards people in our position, because we're not rich by any means. Camilla's starting out. She has not a lot more income than most college kids do. I'm 5 years out, and I'm working my way up, but I don't have it made. I'm kind of going through struggles daily. A lot of times when you hear things from people that have already made it, there's talking about things that are very unrelatable. And if they're talking about things that are relatable, they might be older. So they're actually not relatable to you. So Camilla and I, we offer a different perspective in that she's 19, I'm 27. We're going through things that are specific to our season in life. So yeah, I went off a little tangent there, but what we do is basically real estate development. So whether it's, I guess our plan is we take a piece of property, we add value to it either through rehab, which rehab refers to fixing it up. That's the best way I could put it in layman's terms, is fixing the property up and then selling the property. That's basically what we do. Or we buy the property, we add value by building it, and then we sell it. Another thing that we do is also sometimes instead of selling the home, we rent it, but it's all within real estate development. There's a lot of avenues in real estate. When people think of real estate, a lot of them think being a realtor. And I'm gonna ask Camilla in a second what she thought at first, but there's actually so many more things to it. There's real estate, there's being a realtor, like actually like the transaction of homes. There's wholesale, there's property management, there's construction, there's land entitlement, short-term rentals, you name it, there's a place for it in real estate. There's a lot. And so when people are getting into the game, they don't really know. So most people go into it as a realtor. So I know, Camilla, that when you started, you wanted to be a realtor. So can you tell us a little bit about, what your perspective is as, 17, 18-year-old girl trying to figure out what she wants to do within.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to go into real estate, but I thought that the only way to get into it was by becoming a realtor and then eventually going into building your own things and developing things. So yeah, that was my original plan that I wanted to do at first, be a realtor. But then I started learning more and I started talking to my dad more, both my parents and my brother, and I realized that there's a lot of different things that you can do within real estate, like project management, which I knew nothing about. I didn't even know that like you could build like fourplexes and like that you could, it wasn't just single home or like apartment buildings. So the first year of like learning about this stuff is definitely like a lot and it's sometimes overwhelming, but I'm really excited that I've learned more and that like I know that there is more options than just what everyone thinks is just a straight path and you can go around it and stuff. And we were also going to go into talking a little bit into about ourselves and like what we're doing right now and like our stories. So obviously I said this, but I'm 19 and I'm in college. I'm in my second year of college. And I kind of just wanted to start my career earlier than like getting out of college at 22 and like starting off from there. I want to like work hard now so that I can do whatever I want later, and it's not the same for everyone. That I was blessed like to have family that's showing me the ropes and stuff and showing me the education, but a lot of people that are young like us don't have that and they think they have to work um regular jobs until they graduate and then start their career. So yeah, do you want to share a little bit about what your story was?
Yeah. Before that, I just kind of want to make the point that, it's crazy like watching you get into it. One thing that I've noticed, and I talk about it with people who are close to me all the time, is the difference between people that, you know, are doing different things. For example, you have a much different perspective than a regular 19-year-old in college in regards to your life outlook. Okay. So a lot of people think they're pigeonholed into the same thing, into college, job, retirement, job until you're 65, retirement. And people don't know they have options. And it's fine. I know a lot of people that love their jobs. I love my job. I technically have a job. It's just I happen to own part of a business, but I'm also doing a job every day. So it's not about job versus business versus whatever. It's just different ways of looking at it and changing your perspective. But the main thing is you need the information, because if you don't have the information, if you didn't have the information from me or our parents or people close to us, you wouldn't know. You would be in Hawaii right now and you'd be studying business, going out and getting whatever job you go on LinkedIn and find whatever job you can find. But since you have a lot more information, have grown up with it, you have you're not scared of doing whatever you want, because you know that it's possible. But most people, and I say this like with confidence, most people, they don't have that information. And so if you're somebody that's listening, if you're most people, then that's okay. You just have to find the mentor. You have to find information. So there's somebody to give you the information that you need to get where you want to go, whether that's uh being an accountant, working for a big accounting firm, or starting your own acai bowl business, whatever. You just need to find people who are experts in that field and learn from them, and then like what seems silly to you becomes a reality. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that first. It just sparked in my head when hearing you talk. But I'll
Yeah.
talk about, yeah, I'll give a little bit of my story. I currently I'm a real estate developer. I'm doing, like I said, residential construction. I have a little over 20 projects in Florida where we're doing ground up residential construction. So we buy the land, we build it, we sell it or rent it. I'm kind of doing a split. I'm renting some and selling some. Uh, but I wasn't always a real estate developer. Not nor did I ever think I would be a real estate developer. I started Camila wasn't born in Venezuela, but I was. I was born in Venezuela, and we moved here when I was 10 to the United States, to Florida. And I had it was a pretty unique childhood, because I came from another country. Our parents didn't speak any English. They did a bunch of different things. They had a landscaping business at first, then they got into network marketing, then they got into real estate. They also had normal jobs for a little bit. So it was kind of crazy, like seeing my parents. But in the meantime, before I kind of realized what they were doing, I was just a normal kid and I played baseball. That's what I love to do. I was a baseball player. And that consumed my childhood, that consumed my my teenage years, that consumed my early adulthood. I played baseball in college. I played baseball professionally for 1 year, and then I coached baseball professionally for 2 years. So that's all I knew was baseball. um, and my real goal was to be a Major League Baseball player. So most people whose goals is to be a Major League Baseball player, their dreams get crushed. And while I was playing, that's all I had my sights set on. Once that dream got crushed, I had 2 ACL surgeries, and just other things. Obviously, I wasn't able to reach that goal. But once I got done playing, I was kind of left in a spot where I have to figure out what I want to do with my life, because this childhood dream isn't reality anymore, but I still have big dreams. I still have big goals. Luckily, I was able to see my parents grow and, go from dirt poor immigrants into, a family that is financially independent and has a small business that does pretty well. So I was able to see that and know that there's other possibilities besides baseball. But while you're in the environment, it's tough. So I wanted to stay in baseball. I took a job with a major league team, to coach for them. I was pretty smart. I wasn't always the best athlete, but I was always the most well-read athlete. And I knew I took a lot of pride in my training and was able to turn myself into a very good player just by knowing what to do on a day-to-day basis and how to carry myself. So that allowed me to get a job as a coach with a major league team. But I quickly found out that I didn't like coaching as much as I liked playing. I wanted to do other things. I wanted to do other things financially too. If you guys have been around professional baseball, you don't actually get paid very much until you're in the big leagues. And even then, it's a full-time job. It's not what it's fun. There's a lot of perks with it, but it's not 100% what you think it is from the outside. So I quit the job, but in the meantime, I was doing my real estate business. I got into it with Airbnb. I took over some of my dad's rentals and made them into Airbnbs. And we did that for a little bit. There's a bunch of new laws that were put in place by the government. So the places where we had Airbnbs you weren't able to do Airbnbs anymore. So we had to pull out of that. So the money that I made from there, I bought a house. Actually, when I got my job coaching, I bought a house and I rented it out to other coaches, and that was in 2020. And we were there for 1 month during spring training, and after that month, COVID came, and so everybody got sent home. So now I have a house with debt on it and no tenants to pay for my loan. So I quickly had to figure out what to do. Luckily, the market skyrocketed in Florida. So I had a lot of luck when I first started because all of my investments worked out fine because of the market. Now I'm having to figure out how to run a business and how to be efficient so I can make the same amount of money. But when I first started, it was easy as, hey, I bought this property, I fixed it up, and I sold it, and I made 40 grand on it. So I did that. I made that money, and I just kept doing a few more flips. And then we started doing construction at the end of 2020. So I learned how to build a house. I started learning the construction, and I bought up a bunch of land. I bought about the first year, 2021, I bought about 15 plots of land. We built those houses, we sold them, took that money, bought more lots. And that's how right now I have a little over 20 projects in progress. And I've already done about 15 or so in hindsight. But obviously now my strategy is changing a little bit, and I'm getting older. I'm trying to get more passive income. So that's where I'm at now. So that's kind of like the 10-minute story of myself. And if for people that are listening, it's if you're an athlete, it's not going to last forever. It might last, you might make it big, but you're not going to play till you're 50. You're going to play till you're 40, 45, and then you're going to be done. You have to figure out what to do after that. If you're not lucky enough to play till you're 40, you're probably going to be done in your early 20s like I was. And my message to you guys is, it's the world isn't over. I thought the world was over when I got done with baseball because it's what I poured my heart into, but you can channel that into something else. And if you really enjoy it and it fulfills you, you can actually, like, it turns your life around, because it's a dark place when you don't know like why you're doing things. So yeah, that's kind of my story. In 10-15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, it was kind of weird to see my brother and my parents kind of learning all this stuff that I'm learning now, but watching them learn it when they were a little bit older. So I got very lucky that I can learn it much younger, but not everyone can. And so this is kind of why we're doing this, so that we can help other people. And as for my own projects, I have two duplexes that are in progress, and my dad and I are figuring out what I should do with them, either rent it out or sell them, but they won't be done for a couple months. But as soon as I get back to Florida and I'm stable with our business is in Florida, so I'll be immersing myself more into the business as I learn more. Like I said, this is just like my first year really trying to learn and stuff. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah,
But
isn't it crazy? Like, sorry to cut you off, but
that's fine.
like you can really do business anywhere. I'm in
Yeah.
Miami, you're in Hawaii, our family's in Orlando. We're doing construction in Ocala, Fort Charlotte. It's like we're in all in different areas, and it's crazy how, I mean, especially for us who are, we're more tech savvy. It's easier now than ever to do anything you want, really. But I think the most important thing is, like, what's in your, and our dad always tells us this, is like, it doesn't matter like what you do, is like what's in your head, like what's in your mind. And that's the most important thing that you can have, is what's in your mind. So, financial education, very, very important. And the younger you are, the more you have, it's just leverage for the present and the future, because you have more of like a you just have your path is straighter. You have more of an idea of where you're going. Can you just talk a little bit? Like, I want to hear your perspective about having financial education while you're young, because you have it even younger than I did. I started my journey when I was a senior in college, and you're a sophomore, and you're learning things that I'm just learning now.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy, like learning all this stuff and like starting to do all these things like while I'm still in college, because if you look around at 90% of the people that are in college, the story goes party, go to class, study, party, go to class, study, sleep, eat, whatever. And no one really has any, it's kind of like a bubble. And outside that bubble is like getting a real job, thinking about your future. And everyone's kind of just stuck in that bubble, or for the most part, from what I've seen. No one's really thinking about after college. And like I said, everyone's just getting regular jobs, which is fine. But it takes like either, like my brother said, a mentor or like just something to really get your mind going about, oh, what do I actually want in life and when do I want it? Because like I said, we watched our parents. I mean, their story is a lot crazier than ours, than both of ours. We saw them go from nothing into something, and they did it a lot later in life. And we're lucky enough that we can learn from them and learn from their mistakes, but not everyone has parents that are doing big things or anything like that. So I think it's just really important to immerse yourself and be surrounded by people who are helping you have financial education, because you don't want to be stuck in the rat race and you don't want to be stuck doing what everyone's doing. You want to learn early so that you can make money early, so that you can live a life where you're not stressed about where you're going to get your next paycheck from. So yeah, that's kind of what I think about it. I think it's really important to start as young as possible and kind of just forget like the social norms of like what everyone else is doing.
Right. It's good to be different. And no, you made some really good points. I think what happens, I mean, people just get caught. They get caught in patterns. And I'm learning this now that I'm a little bit older, is that uh you just get caught in a pattern where, and it's a pattern of thinking. And so people think about that the problems that are holding them back rather than the solutions. And it's just a pattern, like I even speak to some of our employees, and they know what the problem is. They can tell me all of the problems, but they don't know the solutions. And that's just a pattern of thinking where their mind goes straight to the problem. Whereas our mind goes more so to the solution and how to fix that problem. Um, it's just being aware of it, really, and just being aware of who you are, who you want to be, and the steps that you need to get there. And it's not going to be, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. You're gonna have to struggle a little bit. You're gonna have to fail. I was watching a documentary last night about SpaceX, and if you guys haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's on Netflix. Pretty cool. I'll have my assistant put in the clip notes for this, put in a link. But it's about basically Elon Musk and how he got SpaceX off the ground. They failed, literally. They failed. He said he had enough money to do 3 launches, and they failed all 3 of them. So somehow he was able to do a fourth launch for a rocket. They were trying to get a rocket to orbit Earth. And I'm just like, that's such a monumental task. And he's embracing failure. So they failed 3 times. And the fourth time they got it. And then they got a contract from NASA that was able to fund them for their next projects. And now they're doing a bunch of cool stuff. They're landing rockets, they have reusable rockets. And so he embraces failure, and that's a pattern of thinking where you embrace failure. You try things out, you try to do things, and you understand that you're going to fail with some, but you learn from like those failures and you apply those into the next thing. So as far as like financial education, it's just a pattern of thinking. where instead of thinking with a scarcity mindset, where you're thinking about problems or you're thinking about what could go wrong, it's more of like an abundance mindset, and where you're thinking about what could go right or how to solve the problems or what you're learning from failure. I don't know, you kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to watch that. And so it makes you think about it in perspective. Like if you can fail 3 rockets and like not be phased and like keep going and trying, like I can get my little construction business off the ground and do more. Um, One more thing that I wanted to talk about just before we break. I think this will probably be a pretty short episode, but one thing that I struggled with, and I think about sometimes, but it doesn't bother me too much, is okay, people are like, these people, all they care about is money, all they care about is success, all they care about is business. They're not worried about the now. They're not worried about today. I don't think that's necessarily the case, because I think that you can enjoy your journey. You can plan for the future so you can be wealthy and you can have the life that you live. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your happiness. Happiness is a choice, and enjoyment of things is a choice. I work, I work probably from 10 to 8 every day, more than most people. 9 to 8, whatever, 9 or 12, 11 hours a day, and I like what I do. I have fun. I go out with my girlfriend. We go get a drink. I take trips when I want. I work more than most people, but I also enjoy more than most people. So it's not like a trade-off where you're trading up your fun and your enjoyment of life for thinking about the future. I think that's a kind of like a misconception. I want you to kind of talk about it a little bit more, because you can appeal more to the younger crowd, because a lot of these people are like, they're in their years where they want to have fun. So you can still have fun and worry about your future.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I need to do this while I'm young. I need to do this while I'm young because I'm going to spend the next 20 plus years working and I can't do any of it. And it's like, why don't you just work hard now? And I mean, you're still young and you're working a lot, but you can still do what people are doing when they're young so that because they can't do it later. So it's about doing everything that you can now so that you can live that life that you want later, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I need to take time off, like how am I going to take time off, I'm not getting paid, or like I can't leave my job, or all these different struggles that people say. It's just to avoid that and make sure that you can live a great life with your kids or your spouse or anything. But when you're working and once you build like your business on your own, like you're already going to have what you want.
Right.
So,
I see our parents, and they're in their 50s and they're enjoying life more than they ever have. Like they're spending time with their kids. We're taking trips to places of the world that they've never been to, we've never been to. We can go on a boat, we can go to dinner wherever we want. We have no restrictions. Yeah, we work hard, we work a lot of hours, but it's not at this at the expense of enjoyment. Like there's some weeks that are stressful, there's some weeks that we work hard, but I'd rather do that and have control over my outcomes than not have control. And like you said, like I think a lot of people when they're in college or when they're my age, they say, okay, I'm gonna get the partying out of the way now. I'm gonna get the fun out of the way now so that I can work later. But it's like, okay, then you're gonna be miserable the rest of your life. You're gonna be working and not having fun all your 30s, all your 40s. Like you're gonna work really hard to have football, to watch football on a Saturday, and that's gonna be the highlight of your week. That's pretty lame, and the only reason is because is that pattern of thinking where, okay, I'm gonna get my fun out of the way when I'm young so that I can work hard when I'm old and then reap my rewards when I'm very old and I can't even enjoy it. I rather, like, my Instagram headline says work hard, play hard. I rather work hard and play hard, have fun, have the fun that I want in moderation, work hard so that I can have the life that I want later, and I don't sacrifice any fun. It's more fun to be a contributor to society that can provide jobs, that can provide products, that can provide services, or be part of something bigger. than to just be a pawn and, just be there for no reason. Where you're at a job, you own a business, like you want to make a difference in this world. The only thing that everybody's gonna die, the only thing that you leave is your legacy and what you could provide to everybody else.
Yeah, and that's really that's one of like the main purposes, just leaving a legacy for your kids, for your family, and not have to worry about when you're retiring, do I have enough money to do what I want? Like, if anything happens, do I have like resources available to me? So that's kind of just the main point of why the whole purpose of all of this is to help you guys live the life that you want in the future and get you started now. So, with this podcast and with the account that we have, we're going to be posting different weekly podcasts and videos, um, showing you different types of what we're doing, real estate, but also mainly just the financial education that is lacking and that we don't learn in school. I've learned a lot more learning outside of school than I have in college, which obviously for my profession makes more sense than others, but still you need that financial education to progress your career in any field. Um, but yeah, we're really excited to go along with this and help you guys out and show you what we know. We're not masters or anything. We're just normal people. But yeah.
Yeah, that's no, that's well said. Yeah, so like Camilla said, we're gonna be posting on our social media. We'll be posting videos, mostly videos with this kind of content. We'll be doing the weekly podcast and doing clips of that. And yeah, just getting you guys information and interacting with you guys. And also this helps us grow. When you teach, you also learn. So whatever you learn here, it's good to talk about it with your friends and talk about it with your family and kind of talk shop. You'll get a lot more out of it. So uh that's basically all I have. So Camille, you have any closing statements?
Um, that's pretty that's pretty much it. I mean, this was the first one, not anything crazy, but we just kind of wanted you guys to get to know us and know what we want from this.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.